Hi guys, I told you I would do some videos on my experience with my chemotherapy. Uh, I'm gonna have to do them in small segments because the batteries on my camera are going, so maybe I can do 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. I did a lot of videos prior to my surgery, through my surgery, leading up to my chemotherapy, and now it's after my chemotherapy. It's very hard for me to talk about, but I had said I would do these videos one time, sharing the experience with you all, and for people who are going to be headed in the same direction that I am. After this, for my own mental state, I think I have to put that part of my life behind. The chemotherapy was so bad and intense that it's something that's very difficult to talk about, and it's not good for me to think about it. It's on my mind a lot. I dream about it, and that's a big problem for me now. My life is trying to move on and live my life after cancer. This is a very hard hurdle for me. I have mood swings, like yesterday. Some of you may have watched me dancing with my dog. It's a happy part of my day, but then 2 hours later I could be crying. I can't really figure out yet what is making my emotions go from 10 to 1, 1 to 10 that quickly. I could be happy 1 minute, crying the next minute. It could be 3 things that are causing this, and to be able to pinpoint it's going to be very difficult. It's either still the chemo drugs in my system that are screwing with me mentally, my nervous system, or it's menopause, or it's, you see, I forgot the third thing. Menopause, the chemo drugs, or the Ativan themselves. I'm taking Ativan as an anti-anxiety drug right now. But sometimes some of these drugs can make things worse. They may help the panic disorder, but they could be magnifying the depression. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but if I could pinpoint why this is happening to me, then I can be treated for it. If it's the menopause, this drug they're asking me to try is Zoloft. It's an antidepressant. It is used for people who are going through menopause, have depression and anxiety. It kind of is a big umbrella, and it covers everything. If it's not the menopause and it's the Ativan, then I have to get off the Ativan. But then how do I stop the panic disorder? If it's the chemo drugs, which I'm hoping, then things should start to mellow out in my mind and in my life within the next 3 to 6 weeks. It's hard to say. I'm trying to remember if I was crying or having these panic flip outs before I was taking the Ativan. It's very hard for me to remember a lot. My memory isn't good. Uh, and I'm actually suffering from chemo fog, which most chemo patients will. Um, Sometimes it's strong, sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not there at all, but it comes and it goes. Chemo fog, the best that I can describe, if you're familiar with the term derealization. Derealization is a real thing. If you can read it online, you don't feel yourself. You're in your body, but things don't look the same, sound the same. Here's how I can describe derealization. Similar. When you, through life, have ever smoked marijuana, and when it hits you at that instant and you're high, that to me is derealization. Yes, a lot of people who smoke pot like that feeling, but if that's what you want to feel like, that is why you would be smoking the pot. I don't want to feel like that parts of the day for no reason. You don't feel attached to your own shoulders. You hear things differently. People sound far away. It's like you're living in a fog. But again, derealization is also a symptom of panic disorder. So there's so many things going on with me right now that I don't know what they're being caused from. Will they all eventually go away? Of course they will. But I'm impatient. I've been through a lot, and I want to start feeling better. Medically, I'm fine. I'm walking again. My blood counts are great. It's a lot now psychological with a lot of these awful symptoms that I can't figure out. I take the Ativan, and then I'm sleepy 3 hours later. I don't want to be sleepy. I don't want to be groggy. I want to be sharp with energy again like I used to be. So I have to get off these pills. But I can't get off these pills yet, because if I don't take these Ativan, I tense and I go into a panic mode, and then I can't breathe, and then I really have derealization, feeling like I'm going to pass out. So I'm in a catch-22, and I'll be talking to the doctors more tomorrow about it. I'm eating better. I feel my best from 5 o'clock at night on. For some reason, nighttime, I feel good. I almost feel back to me. Mornings are a little bit better than they used to be. Afternoons now, I'm just having bouts of crying, teary, but I'll get it worked out. Getting back to, and a favor, if any of you watch this video, could do me a favor, because I've searched and searched and I can't come up with anything. I really need to find some type of chat room that I could talk to people experiencing maybe some of the same things me after chemo effects and stuff, and I can't seem to find a live chat room on the internet. If any of you have any time, could check it out for me, I'd sure appreciate it. Check it out to the point that it is a chat room before I start registering in it, and it turns up, every one of them I've registered, I can't find live people. But thanks for that. Getting back to my chemotherapy. a lot of people have had chemotherapy in life and didn't probably have nearly a 16th of the effect that I had, the side effects. They were awful. Uh, I they were so bad. Uh, they were really hard to talk about. Uh, the pain, the nausea, the tremors, the sweating, feeling like you're actually going to die. Um, Waking up in the middle of the night, having nightmares, being rushed to the emergency room I don't know how many times from dehydration, having food put in front of you, and the smell of it and the thought of it alone could make you throw up. Um, it was brutal, absolutely brutal. I've never experienced anything like it. Could have I continued on to the 6 treatments? No way. So I am glad that my 2 doctors came to the conclusion that it's too toxic for me and that it would be okay for me to stop at 3. It's not a joke. I give kids a lot of credit who have chemo. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how anybody does it. Maybe it was the drug selection that I was given for my cancer. Maybe some of the other chemo drugs are different. I don't know. But my cocktail was it was awful. It screwed me up big time, psychologically. But it's over. You know, that's the problem. It's over, but it's not over for me yet. I knew. I actually didn't know in the beginning. I thought when this was over, I could just jump back into the life that I had. Never. I could never. There isn't a day that passes that I don't think about my chemo treatment. It was that awful. Yeah, as of now, I'm a survivor. I should be really happy about that. I am. Maybe it's soon after treatment, and I'm not seeing the good yet. I'm sure I will in a few months, but what I went through, it was tough. I cried every night before I had to go for my poison. It was treatment 1 was bad, but I got through it. Treatment 2 was wicked. I was home for treatment 2. If you recall, I was talking to you guys online and was taken out in an ambulance. I don't know how many times. Treatment 3 was something out of a horror movie. I could tell you a little bit about how bad it was. One story. I was staying at my mom's during treatment 3. The little things in life that we all do every day that come natural to us. We get up, pour a cup of coffee, get a can of soda from the refrigerator. I was so sick that sometimes my mom needed to sleep in. My mom's 83 years old. She was worn out from taking care of me. And she would always want me to eat my Cheerios, because they're good for your heart, I guess, every morning. It doesn't matter, she said, if you take 4 mouthfuls of these Cheerios, you gotta just line your stomach with something. Okay? Everything during chemo treatment was the smallest things, was the biggest things. Getting a bowl of cereal in comparison for me was like fixing an engine in a car. If I knew my mom was going to sleep in, I would plan 12 hours ahead. This is how bad it was. I knew that 7:30 in the morning, I would get up at 7:30 in the morning, and she would get up at about 8. I tried so hard to be dependent and get through this without my mother basically close to wiping my ass. I would have to get my cereal the night before. I have to pour it in a bowl without the milk and put it in the refrigerator, so that when I got up in the morning, I could just reach for it, grab the milk fast, and run back to the couch with the bowl. Because I was incapable of getting the bowl, getting the spoon, reaching in the cabinet. Those were 4 things that I would have had to do when I wake up, compared to 1, which was tiptoeing from the couch to the refrigerator because I was so dizzy. And I could barely see. Everything was like 3-dimensional. Tiptoe, reach in, get the bowl, grab the milk, sit quickly, pour it in the bowl, try to figure out how I'm getting the milk back in the refrigerator. Eat it as fast as I could with my hands shaking, just to get something in my stomach to be able to take the medication I was on. And lay there and pray to God the pills would start working. So, I've been making my own lunches now. I made my own breakfast today. So little things in life. Yeah. Having a call to my sister at 4 o'clock in the morning and wake her out of a sound sleep because I needed a drink. And I couldn't even walk to the refrigerator. I'm sorry. But the thought of it all, it was insane. Um, I didn't talk to a lot of you during that phone calls. I had a bad signal there, and a lot of people asked me why I didn't talk by phone. The truth of the matter is now, because nothing sounded right, I would talk to people on the phone. Laura, I would talk to a couple times a day briefly because it didn't sound like her. It was like I was on an acid trip for 3 months. Slowly, it's getting better. But the thought of it's brutal. It's toxic. Might as well just put janitor and a drum in my veins. Mr. Clean. Boric acid. So anybody out there who's done Taxol, carboplatin,